I'm here with UFC Lightweight Jordan, the Monkey King Levitt, who makes his UFC debut against Matt Wiman December 5th. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Are you coming from the gym?
Yeah, I just got out of practice.
How was that?
It was well. It went well. It was my last hard day, so not supposed to feel the best during a weight cut, but I think it went pretty well.
That's awesome to hear. Before we talk about your fight, I have some very important questions I have to know. How close are you to your 100 books a year goal?
Okay, so this year my goal is actually 70, and I have 13 books left. So I have to do a little bit over one every 2 days to finish to make it my goal, which I will. I always finish my goal. But yeah, I have 13 books left for the year.
Do you have a favorite book this year so far?
Ooh, I would definitely say I think my favorite book so far this year is either Revival or The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King. Those are probably in my upper echelon of reads. But I'm also reading the first book of the Wheel of Time series, The Eye of the World, right now, and that book's really enjoyable. So I'm pretty sure once I finish that one, that'll probably be in my top.
Awesome. That's awesome. Another one is, where did your nickname come from?
So it came from the old Kung Fu movies, but I think it's kind of stuck when me and my friends watched Forbidden Kingdom, the old Kung Fu movie of Jet Li and Jackie Chan, which doesn't happen very often. We were watching that and his little playful style, and then I was like roughhousing with my friends at like school, and like, you're like that Monkey King from Forbidden Kingdom and everything. And it kind of just stuck. It came to me several times throughout life, and I've been the Monkey King ever since. But yes, my playful, flowy demeanor, I think, is why it's stuck.
Well, I must say it is one of the better nicknames in the UFC now. So
Thank you.
Very cool. Are you still running barefoot?
Yes, I am. I'm still running barefoot. I'm going to run barefoot until probably about April. That's until when it starts getting hot here in Vegas, because the hot asphalt melts my feet. But yeah, I still have a few more months of time, barefoot running time, and then my shoes come back on during those hot months.
Where did that start?
It started my senior year of high school. I was talking to one of my friend's parents, and they're talking about how many marathons they've ran. And I was like, I want to run a marathon. And he's like, well, with my program, if you were able to run 11 miles tomorrow, you'd be able to finish this marathon by this time. So I was like, okay. And I had never ran more than 2 miles. I did like the 800 and the mile for track. So I'm like, it's just 11 miles. It's just, 22 half miles. I can do that. So then I started running, and then running 11 miles without training is not easy to do. So about maybe mile 6, mile 7, I took off my shoes to kind of give myself a little break. But then I started jogging without my shoes, and I was like, I actually feel a lot better jogging this way. So then I just stopped wearing those shoes. I started jogging barefoot, and yeah, I've always either done like a minimalist type of shoe or just running barefoot. I've been doing that for about 7 or 8 years now.
That's incredible. I have to ask, have you ever like stepped on a nail or stepped on something sharp?
Okay, so I've never stepped on a nail, but one time I was jogging and it was nighttime, and maybe like July. Nighttime in July, maybe my first year of college. And I stepped on I heard a crunch as I'm jogging. I'm like, oh, I probably stepped on some roach. Because when you jog at nighttime barefoot, you step on roaches all the time. But then I'm going home and washing off my feet, and there's a dead scorpion on the bottom of my foot, and its thorn is like lodged in one of my calluses. Okay, like my little gross like outside feet. Its thorn is just lodged in one of my calluses. So I think that's like the sharpest thing that's ever, give me a start. When I looked at the bottom of my foot, and there's just like crunched like scorpion carcass like stuck between like my toes and the thorn like in one of my calluses. But that's the only time I've really had anything scary happen. I've ran through glass, but when you're jogging the right way, glass really doesn't go through your foot. It's hard. It's worse to walk through glass than it is to jog through glass. But
Interesting.
Yeah, just the scorpion. The scorpion's probably the sharpest, scariest thing I've stepped on.
Well, scorpion is that's pretty extreme, I gotta say. Are you gonna, if you win, are you gonna do the splits when you win?
Definitely, I'm doing the splits, and we're trying to decide on a victory dance to add on top of the splits. If I win and if it's a finish, I think it'll warrant a celebration. So we've been working on a few things. Don't want to spoil it, but yeah, we have something planned if I get a nice finish to add on top of the split. I'm really hoping I can get the finish, so that way I could show it off. But yeah, we got a little victory dance and split celebration prepared.
And then in my humanizing series, you said that one of your favorite movies was Meet Joe Black.
Yes.
It's that movie is split between a lot of people. Tell me why you like that movie.
I like because I used to be an awkward loser. I really liked how Death or Joe Black, how awkward he is in the entire thing, and how he completely misses all the social cues, and like girl's in love with him, and she's saying these things. She's like, "I love you." He's like, "Thank you for loving me." I'm like, this is like my spirit animal. I was like in middle school. I loved that movie. I'm like, okay. So if Death can find somebody, eventually I will find somebody. It's a very slow movie. It's incredibly slow, but I love how slow it is. But yeah, that movie always puts a smile on my face, and I love it. It's always resonated with me for whatever reason.
It definitely has one of the best death scenes of all time when Brad Pitt gets hit by the cars.
Yes, you see like this little romance thing happen. Ooh, that's Joe Black, and then boom, gets hit by a truck, gets hit by another car, and the girl's even as soon as she looks over her shoulder, she's like, "Oh, there he is." Turns around, gets hit by a car. That was perfect. I remember when I first watched the movie, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?"
Yeah, it's shocking. So your fight with Matt Wiman kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. Have you been training for a fight, or is this another short notice fight for you?
It's not short notice. They gave me his name maybe almost about 2 months ago. So yeah, about 2 months ago, but they hadn't announced it yet.
Okay.
And I'm new to this. I wasn't sure when it's kosher for me to announce my fights, but it was like getting to like 20 days, and I'm like, I gotta announce it, like, or no one's gonna know about it. So when finally somebody, dropped that I was fighting him, I was like, okay, cool. That's good news. But yeah, I've known about it for about 8 or 9 weeks now, and yeah, we've been preparing for that.
Gotcha. You must be happy to have a longer fight camp than you have than your two previous fights that you went back to back.
Yeah, I've never had a fight camp before. All my fights have been on like a month or less notice. So it's really weird to like have your opponent in mind and to know it's probably not going to fall through, and that's who you're definitely going to be fighting. It's been very strange. Like after like 4 weeks into camp, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be fighting. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't fight for another like month. And it's really nice to kind of have that time to like mentally prep for it. Because I used to think maybe the longer I had, the more time I had to think about the fight, I thought maybe it made me nervous. But I think maybe just like a month or less is like the Goldilocks zone of just feeling horrible about a fight. Like you're not in camp long enough to feel good about your preparation, but it's not short enough for you not to have time to stress about it. So maybe just I need a long camp or I need no camp. I think that's how I have to work for me.
Okay. So were you excited with the matchup with the UFC vet like Matt Wiman for your first fight in the UFC?
I don't usually get excited for fights. I get more intrigued and I try to just break down my opponent and what their strengths are. It was really weird because I used to watch Matt Wiman in high school and I was a really big fan of him. So I have some mixed feelings about retiring him, but no, I'm not. That's not who I am. But I have really weird feelings about fighting him because I've been a fan of him and everything. And I mean, I don't want to get knocked out by Matt Wiman, but I don't want to knock Matt Wiman out or hurt him. I have mixed feelings. I should have thought this through because up until a year ago, I was a 45er. And I wasn't a fan of any of the 45ers really, so it was really easy. Like, okay, I'll fight this guy. But the 55ers, I love that division. So now that I'm a part of it, I'll be fighting a lot of these people I look up to. And it's just a lot of mixed feelings. Because I've never been a fighter with like an ego where I've been watch them on the TV and like, oh, I'd whoop him, you know, I kick his butt. I'm not like those casual people who like watch the fights at the bar. I'm like, I respect their like technique. I respect what they do well. But yeah, it's weird to fight someone you're a fan of, and especially an old school guy like Matt Wiman.
How do you, I guess, kind of overcome that?
I think I just have to pretend that it's just like if I was in training. Pretend it's just a sparring match, because if I just do that, I know I'll perform well. Because I've sparred with a lot of really good 55ers, a lot of really talented guys. I sparred with Cerrone, I sparred with other people, and I don't get starstruck. I feel like if I just pretend it's just another day at the gym, it won't get into my head. I'm excited to meet him, though. I'm not sure if it'd be appropriate to ask for his autograph or anything, but I am very excited to meet Matt Wiman. And yeah, I'm gonna try not to be starstruck or be weird. Just kind of shake his hand, be manly, do the square off. But we'll see. But yeah, I think if I just pretend it's just like I'm sparring him, but I'm trying to obviously win the sparring session, a lot more intensity. I think I'll be in a good mental spot.
How do you see the fight going?
I think Matt Wiman is experienced enough that he might actually not to try to bum rush me because he's afraid of my grappling. That I might actually get to show off some striking. So I kind of see me going out there, maybe being able to maintain distance, and then either getting him to panic and shoot on me because he's a very good grappler as well, and he likes to shoot and hold people against the cage. So I either see him, maybe me making him panic and him shooting on me and closing the distance, or if he tries to bum rush me, which all my opponents have kind of tried to do, I think I'll just shoot on him and kind of do what I've been doing. But I would like to show off some more skills. I'm a well-rounded martial artist. I haven't gotten to show that. It's like a double-edged sword when people say, "Oh, Jordan, he's one of the last specialists," and it's like, it's kind of an insult and a compliment. I'm like, thank you for thinking my grappling's that good, but I'm not a specialist. I definitely work on my striking. It's just when you know your grappling's better than 90% of people, your striking only better than whatever percent of people, I'm gonna go to my grappling. It's where I'm most comfortable.
It's kind of like people are lumping you in with like a Ryan Hall, where it's like people are only focused on your grappling, where you're actually a very you're a mixed martial artist. You're in the UFC for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, especially at my gym syndicate under John Wood, like we do mitts all the time. We do a lot of striking drills. I strike all the time. I spar 3 days a week, about 20 rounds a week, and it all starts on the feet. I'd be a lot more slurred in these interviews if I didn't know how to strike at this point, I'd imagine, unless my cranium's very thick. But like, I think my defense I have very smooth, crisp defense. I have good hands. I have very dexterous kicks. And I feel like I may lack killer instinct. I do hate hurting people. But when $10,000 plus is on the line, kind of suck it up and hurt somebody. So I'm hoping I could hurt somebody. If not, hopefully get a nice submission. I'm searching for the bonus. I'm hunting for bonuses for this fight. I would like to, get that bonus help. Maybe put a down payment on a house. Do something that will help change me and my wife's lives. But I want to show off some new skills. And I'm hoping Matt Wiman's the opponent that will force me to show this side of my style that no one's seen before.
That's awesome. And you just mentioned your wife. I just want to congratulate you on being a dad to be. Is there a date?
Early February or late January. I'm excited. A lot of emotions. I always am excited to be a dad until I'm teaching my 4 to 7-year-olds at the gym, and it makes me question it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes kids are atrocious, but I can't wait to meet my daughter. Oh, I'm having a girl. Yeah, I can't wait to meet my daughter. Yeah, a lot of changes are happening this year. You know, COVID, and then got my UFC contract, baby on the way. Yeah, this 2020 has been the best year of my life. 2021 is going to be better because I finally get to meet my daughter. So I'm excited and I'm optimistic about the future.
Well, that's awesome that you've had such a good 2020 when 2020 has been kind of a wild year for a lot of people. I do want to thank you for talking with me. If you want to plug your social media and your sponsors, go right ahead. The floor is yours.
All right. I would like to thank my sponsors, all my sponsors, especially So Right. You help keep me healthy. Help make these camps a little bit more bearable. Super thankful to So Right. I'm thankful for Virus for the gear. I'm thankful. Now I'm drawing a blank for my other sponsor. I'm thankful for all of them, though. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Monkey King UFC on Instagram or JoJo Monkey King on Twitter. Though I don't use Twitter. But after this fight, maybe if I'm famous, I'll use Twitter. But yeah, if you want to follow me, that's where you can find me.
Thank you so much, and good luck in your fight.
Thank you, Alex. You have a good one.